Hello YouTube and welcome to SciPrime Productions. I'm here to help enhance your tabletop gaming experience. If you're new to this channel, I primarily focus on Paizo tabletop role-playing games like Pathfinder and Starfinder. So this is embarrassing. Normally at the start of the month, Paizo has a Paizo live stream where they talk about upcoming releases. They did not do that this month because they are still recovering from PaizoCon. This info seems to have slipped past me, and I was planning on doing a Paizo live summary. This leaves me with no video this week, so I guess I'm going to talk about the Hellfire Crisis. That's the new company-wide event that will be coming up this year and next year for Pathfinder content. I'll be referring to a video released during PaizoCon, link in the description below, and yeah, this will be an unscripted video. And as always with these unscripted videos, writing and editing a script and doing video editing, it all takes time that I don't have. So this is going to be a quickie video without a whole lot of interesting things to look at, and I may make a few mistakes when speaking. I'm sorry. And of course, to reiterate, link to the full official video will be in the description below. But before I get started, I need to give a quick history lesson on Golarion so that the following makes sense. This wasn't part of the video, I'm just giving some context. There are 3 countries that used to be one country, and that one country was called Cheliax. Then Cheliax went into a new devil-worshipping direction, and Andoran broke off from them and formed their own country. Isgir also broke off, but basically became a puppet state of Cheliax. Now, Cheliax has a paramilitary group called the Hell Knights. Not technically part of the Cheliaxian army, but many Hell Knights are loyal to Cheliax, and there's more to it. There are Hell Knight orders outside of Cheliax, but I'm trying to keep things simple here. Now, Andoran also has a paramilitary group that's largely loyal to them called the Eagle Knights. Now, if you recall, last year, War of Immortals was the big company-wide crossover, and it seems that the Hellfire Crisis will be this year's crossover going into next year. It's going to kick off with the Battlecry sourcebook coming out in Gen Con 2025. Now, the Battlecry sourcebook has a bunch of new stuff that's not Hellfire Crisis related. They have 2 new classes, the Commander and the Guardian, a new ancestry called Jotunborn. They're actually new to Golarion. They live in a pocket dimension, but they sometimes come to help out Golarion in times of trouble, like, Gorham dying. Only when they came to help out this time, some of them weren't able to go back. So they're actually an entirely new ancestry to Golarion. There's also going to be new archetypes in the book, new class options, like at least 1 new thaumaturge implement, rules for squad-on-squad combat, where your PC runs an entire squad, and new magic items and new vehicles. Alright, so let's talk about the Hellfire Crisis. It starts off with a group of people called the Hellbreakers. These are an Isgir rebel group who are fighting against Chelaxian control. Now, a lot of people in Isgir don't like Cheliax, but Cheliax is trying to rehab its image and try to bring Isgir back into the fold by sending charity workers from the Church of Asmodeus to do good works like set up orphanages and such in Isgir. The Hellbreakers realize that this is a pure PR move and the Church of Asmodeus doesn't actually care. Now, the Hellbreakers find a shard of Gorham's armor. Remember, Gorham is the god who died in the last big company-wide event. Anyway, they decide to use that shard, which is a very powerful magic item, to help them with their cause. Now, this causes the leader of Cheliax, her infernal magistrix, Queen Abigail Thrune II, to send Hell Knights to go to the Hellbreakers, which, remember, are in Isgir, and steal the shard. Since Hell Knights aren't technically part of the Chelaxian army, this technically isn't an act of war. Well, Hell Knights kinda just go crazy, institute martial law, even though they have no authority to do that, and generally be jackbooted thugs and rubble around this area called Breach Hill, where they think the Hellbreakers are. Now, Andoran doesn't like this one bit, and sends some diplomats to try and get the Hell Knights to leave, including a semi-retired Eagle Knight. Now, the Hell Knights just capture this Eagle Knight general and publicly execute a well-respected Eagle Knight and citizen of Andoran on trumped-up espionage charges. Remember, this all takes place in Isgir, so, this guy maybe hasn't even visited Cheliax before, so it's obvious that these spy charges are just completely made up. Now, Andoran, of course, doesn't like their well-respected citizen being killed, and they respond by sending the actual Eagle Knights. Now, remember, the Eagle Knights are a paramilitary organization, so again, this is technically not an act of war. Now, the Hell Knights and the Eagle Knights fight, and the Eagle Knights win with the help of the Hellbreakers. Abigail Thrun, who, remember, is the leader of Cheliax, really doesn't like this and officially incorporates the Hell Knights into the Chelaxian military, and she just drops all pretenses and basically marches them to war. This is the setup for the Hellfire Crisis. Cheliax and Andoran will officially go to war, while the Hellbreakers try to work towards true Isgir independence. Now moving on to real-life stuff, there's going to be 2 adventure paths based on this narrative arc. A level 1 to 9 adventure path called Hellbreakers, which will release sometime early 2026, and a second direct sequel adventure path that has yet to be named or talked about. There will also be a Hellbreakers novel featuring Valeros, the iconic fighter. And all of this will officially kick off at Gen Con, where you can play the Hell Knights versus Eagle Knights fight on the side of the Eagle Knights. Anyway, that's all I really have to talk about with the Hellfire Crisis. Remember, I do make my own third-party content. I actually just created the Civilian NPC Omnibus, a downloadable PDF at drivethrurpg.com. This book has 44 new NPC stat blocks from NPC levels -1 to 10. This time, most of them are themed around civilians you might encounter, from serfs to guildmasters. Check it out, link in the description below. A few people have been asking me how they can help out financially, and right now, this is the best way. And that's all for the information on the Hellfire Crisis. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And while you're down there, make sure to like and subscribe. That tells not only me, but also YouTube that you like this kind of content and would like to see more. And of course, until next time, thank you, good luck, and happy gaming!